What's the actual superpower you want? Don't be boring. Story 1. I want my snooze button to pause time. No more rush showers. No coffee and breakfast at my lunch break. Snooze means snooze for the universe. Story 2. Honestly, teleportation is my true answer. Travel expenses are one of the highest costs for a vacation. No more gas money, and you can just teleport back home at night, so no hotel needed. Tell me I'm wrong. Answer. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, just teleportation? Wouldn't you have to have perfect knowledge of where you're teleporting to so you don't teleport in the middle of a random passerby or under a bus? Because that would require being psychic as well. You'd likely end up planning poorly and teleporting into a situation you had no way of preparing for. The human body has all sorts of physiological checkpoints that end up saving us in the long run, and randomly teleporting with regular human fallibility sounds like a huge risk. That's not even mentioning all of the trouble you'd run into from people who see you teleporting and start asking questions or possibly attack you. Nah, definitely not worth it. Story 3. The ability to touch any object to gain knowledge of its history, strong enough to go back to that time period. This would allow me to see that object's true historical story. Story 4. The ability to manipulate plastic like a bender from Avatar. I would roam the earth and pick up all the plastic litter from all the nooks and crannies that nobody can be bothered to clean. I'll get on a boat and clean the oceans. I will clean people's blood from microplastics. I will use all this plastic to manufacture and build useful things. It would also help in my hobby life, as I like Lego and Warhammer. Edit. A lot of people are telling me how I can also control the microplastic to manipulate people's bodies. My favorite is by Yujong SEX, who said I could concentrate the microplastics into a blockage in someone's arteries and cause them to have a stroke or a coronary heart attack. I think I'll just make people's balls explode. Story 5. Being able to manipulate the odds on any given scenario. If you think about it, this is the most useful superpower there is. Is it likely that some billionaire will die and leave me all their money? Guess what those odds are, a bazillion to 1 in favor now. Is it likely that everyone's illnesses and injuries will suddenly heal themselves overnight? Well, now there's a bazillion to 1 in favor chance we're all waking up tomorrow and running marathons. Giant meteor heading for the Earth about to destroy it? Well, what are the odds another one just happens to be heading on an intercept course at just the right angle to knock them both out of the solar system? You guessed it, bazillion to 1 in favor. Edit. To everyone saying my opinion is wrong, LOL. Seriously, it's a 10-second comment on a silly Reddit thread. Story 6. Ability to speak every language fluently and perfectly mimic accents, including, say, speaking Spanish with a German accent. Like, know all the slang and different regional dialects as well. Edit to add, with that knowledge, you could privately contract your skills and make more than enough money to travel to any country. Story 7. I want to provide orgasms to random people by snapping my fingers. Argument? Climax instead. Fight? Why, just crawl on the ground and enjoy yourself. War? A whole army not able to fight because of coming. Story 8. I would want the power to refill things. Finished a nice bottle of whiskey? Refill it. Bank account low? Refill it. Somebody's pissed me off? Refill their bladder. Lots of interesting ways to use it. Edit. Because some people are asking for specifics, you can't just refill something with anything. It has to be what was once originally there. Hence, refilling, not just filling. It can be done an infinite amount of times. As mentioned, you can use it on other people, not just yourself, and it can be very abstract or very material. And because some people are lacking whimsy and imagination on ways to use it, here are some more. Shopping. You can just refill your kitchen. You'd only need to buy items you've never bought before. You'd save so much money. Hope. If you're feeling hopeless, or somebody else is, you can refill your hope. Now apply this to lots of other emotions and feelings. You could refill the world's hope and happiness. Zombie apocalypse scenario. Refill your gas tank. Refill your stomach. Refill the shops. Refill your ammo. Refill any blood loss. ECT can also apply to any general disaster. You could also refill the life in a zombie. Refill areas that have been affected by deforestation. Refill the ozone layer. Refill the coral reef. You can use it for good, selfish reasons, practical reasons, or you could use it very sinisterly. Story 9. Portals. Like in The Mage, the Gathering roleplay books from White Wolf. Being able to open a portal to anywhere you have a connection with. You'd need to know the place well, either by study or by having been there. The portal only needs to be big enough to grab something it, say 1 by 1 meter. The opportunities are endless. For instance, setting up a table somewhere with all kinds of things one could need but doesn't want to carry. Or being able to look at a place without being there would make for a hell of an information gathering tool. Also, you'd be able to carry your own death ray. A small portal to the surface of the sun would make for one hell of a pocket nuke. Story 10. This may be slightly psychotic, but I want to be able to trigger auditory hallucinations. See, if I see two people I don't like, I can make them think they're insulting each other, and then I stop as I watch a fight break out between them. I work in a call center, and if a customer is actively insulting me, which is a lot, I can traumatize them out of spite. I could make them think their insult was the straw that broke the camel's back, and they hear me shoot myself and they hear all my coworkers screaming. Meanwhile, the call reserving just hears me asking if they're still there. Hello? I swear, I am definitely okay. Story 11. Is omniscience a superpower? If not, then ability to create a working version of anything I can imagine. Engineer's wet dream. Story 12. I think it'd be pretty cool to be able to reach into a TV show and/or movie and just take what I want and it becomes reality. Story 13. I've been stable on this question for years. I want to get perfect sleep. All the time. Whenever I want to sleep, I fall asleep instantly. Wake up when it's time and get deep restoration every time. Story 14. I'm sticking with my finding things. I have that in real life. But I want to ramp it up a bit. Currently, I can walk into a room, get asked where something is, and spot it straight away. Vitamins, socks, keys, etc. I would like it to go up a notch so I can be walking outside, and then suddenly realize that there is a gold bracelet in a bush, or a bundle of cash discarded somewhere. Story 15. Telekinesis. And I'll be political. Whoops, a flying poleaxe just off that politician I didn't like. Could be anyone. Yoink. Oh, so this is the laptop with all the sensitive data? Marvelous. What a chance it dropped by your window from the vault and I happened to catch it a block away. Crazy wind. Hey, guess who's getting pantsed every time they lie on TV? That's right, everyone. Story 16. Okay, this is one I thought would be cool, but is overshadowed by other op ones. What if you just had your own pocket dimension that you could access anytime you want, like an infinite sack, but you can open it whenever and don't need to hold it. You can store anything in it, even people, and everything freezes in its current temperature and shape. Story 17. I want the power to know everything I want to know. It's basically the cheat code of superpowers. I want to know how to turn invisible. I want to know how to fly. I want to know how to get fusion power working for humanity. I want to know the cure to any disease. I want to know tomorrow's, winning lottery numbers, etc. Story 18. Shape-shifting. Like full on, I can turn into anyone or anything within a reasonable size range. Shape-shifting. Story 19. The ability to have a deep understanding about biology. You know how Adam Eve can see individual atoms and bend them to her will? Like that. But with biology, I want to shapeshift and cure illnesses. I want to morph into a different form and walk through hospitals curing people anonymously. I want to morph into a bird and fly. I want to keep myself at an enhanced human level and get rid of my depression. Perfect superpower to me. Story 20. Flying, but in a floaty type of way. Let me swim through the air like it's water. Need something high up? Let me propel myself with my arms and just float up to it. I can also use it to jump higher and further. I got this idea from my dreams, where this is a reoccurring thing I can always do in them. It's a very freeing feeling. Story 21. To relive any previous 24-hour period in my life, with no repercussions to the present if I do things differently. Story 22. Unrestricted instant teleportation. And I want it to be like Goku, where someone can put a hand on me and go with me. Story 23. Compress 8 hours of sleep into one and still have the energy benefits for 23 hours. See into the past. Story 24. To know the answer to any and every question I can ponder. Any question. Sky's the limit. Cure for cancer? Done. Winning lotto numbers for tomorrow's jackpot? Now I know the anti-gravity equation. Easy. How did they build the pyramids? Knowledge is the most powerful thing you could have. Story 25. The power to instantly put a keyboard warrior in an arena with the person they are being vicious and rude to online when in reality they wouldn't have the balls to say what they're saying to someone's face. Story 26. Honestly, my first choice is boring. I'll take perfect health and regeneration no matter my level of diet or exercise and no aging. Just effective immortality. Needs the regeneration in case I get a serious injury. And needs one particular way for me to will it undone in case I really want out. But the most interesting superpower I dreamed about was real-life cut copy-paste with storage. Imagine the power to touch something and it's now stored as a perfect memory you can access, and then you touch empty air and think about that object and boom, copy. Dining at a Michelin star restaurant? Oh, let's copy these meals for later before I eat them. Getting meds from the pharmacy? Fudge going for or paying for refills? Made a perfect cup of coffee? That's now on tap forever. Want to move? Cut everything out of existence. Paste it on the other end. Cutting and forgetting would also be fun. If you can paste an endless supply of clean dishes, cutting and deleting the dirty ones on the other end would be great. Story 27. I wish I could do the things I want to do without feeling pain. 10 minutes of walking is enough to hurt my feet and legs. Story 28. The ability to make billionaires and politicians be held accountable for their actions to the same extent as the poorest people. Story 29. The power to heal any illness, disease, condition, etc. And give people optimal health for their age group. Not bringing people back from the dead, unless right on the cusp. Not immortality. Also, to be able to do it for myself, obviously. Story 30. To know everything contained in a book just by touching it, understand its concepts, theories fully, and remember everything perfectly. Story 31. Calorie-based teleportation. Not too much calories, though. Maybe a burger would get you and someone halfway across the world. Otherwise, you'll be overeating. Just enough to maintain a good weight, but not too much that you can't teleport whenever you want. Story 32. A non-flashy one I would like is Domino's abilities from Marvel. She says she is just lucky, but she had subconscious minor precognition and telekinesis. So basically, your subconscious mind can see into the short future and uses telekinesis to make sure everything works out for you. Story 33. The teleportation from Jumper. Can jump anywhere you've seen a picture of, etc. Could you imagine just flipping through a most beautiful places in the world book and then teleport to a different place each day to poop? Story 34. I don't know the actual name of it. I've heard it called mentifery. as well as probability manipulation. I could have any superpower I wanted at any given time. I'd be a god. However, knowing myself, I would probably just use my powers to entertain people. I love being able to host events for my friends and family. So now I could put on huge shows without needing to set up effects or pay for all the doodads. I'd be Genie from Aladdin, but specifically during the Friend Like Me sequence. Story 35. Teleportation, but for others. Snap and my girls are here and back home again after we're done. Someone's pissing me off. Teleport them to the other side of the city. Make a business out of it. IDK, LOL. Story 36. I was thinking what the strongest and most fun superpower is, and I came to a definite conclusion. The power to create anything from fiction, luck potion from Harry Potter, Iron Man suit, the lamp from Aladdin, etc. I think how you can see this is broken and there is no limit. Story 37. The ability to create wormholes where you can open and close them and choose the location it appears on both locations. Basically, getting teleportation and time travel where you can bring things with you. Story 38. Go back in time 5 minutes whenever I want. Any superpower in the whole darn world could be waiting at my feet, and I'd still want this one. Go back and say the clever comeback I thought of. Go back and grab the thing I forgot so I don't have to come back for it. This ability would improve my life so significantly, I'm so convinced. Story 39. I want luck, like Domino has. If you don't know what I mean, watch Deadpool 2. Definitely the best power to have. Story 40. The ability to accurately describe where anything is in the universe so long as I'm asked. Hey Tux, where is historic artifact? Oh yes, allow me to draw you a map. And right here 41 feet down, you'll have to dig for it. Tux, where is the closest alien intelligence? Are you sure you want the answer to that? The asking part is important because I don't want to actually know where literally everything in existence is at all times. That seems like too much. Story 41. Magical inventory bag that defies laws of physics and lets me store all my belongings in it. Comes with intuitive search, so it knows exactly which item you want to bring back into the regular world, so I'd never misplace my items again. Forget folding clothes, just lay them on a flat clan surface and then store it. It'll be wrinkle-free and still smell fresh from the laundry when you see it next. Coins? No problem. Chuck them in the inventory. It's late for me and I've got a busy day upcoming. I'll add on, but you should be able to get an idea. Story 42. The ability to change the probability of anything. Probability will turn into a sentient flying, fire-breathing tiger. 100. Probability it'll stub my toe today. 0. Probability that it'll get a steak or chicken burrito. 150. Story 43. Being able to create unbreakable shields has catastrophic physics implications, especially depending on how precisely you can control them. The potential skyrockets if the barriers can be made invisible or reflect energy. The most abusable aspect of this power is that as long as the barriers are truly unbreakable, they can be used to tear through matter. For example, imagine creating an immovable shield shaped like a grain of rice. If someone walks into it, it would just pass through them. Now imagine anchoring a cloud of these micro barriers to your fists. You would essentially be wielding a reverse cheese grater, one that shreds through anything it touches. These barriers could take any shape and be placed anywhere, functioning as instant eliminate traps or precision weapons. Or you can just place hundreds of these on a frisbee and see what happens when you throw it forward. Naturally, this would make you an incredible hand-to-hand fighter. You could coat yourself in shields, turning your entire body into a weapon. You would be able to strike with full force without risking injury. You could also create footholds or leverage points mid-fight, barriers to pin, trap, or slam opponents into. Imagine a fight sequence. You summon a face-shaped barrier right as your opponent runs into it head first. While they are stunned, you punch them square in the face and immediately generate another barrier behind their head for it to crash into. They fall to the ground, dazed. You create a barrier for leverage and use your full body weight to drive your knee into their jaw, while holding their head in place with another barrier to maximize the damage. To make things even more interesting, suppose you can imbue your barriers with traits. One side could negate all energy and force, while the other side reflects everything. You could jump off buildings and land safely on the force-negating side, or trap enemies inside a force-negating space so they cannot build momentum or escape. Now consider the reflection side. If you are reflecting or redirecting all energy, a single punch aimed at a reflection barrier could result in catastrophic recoil. I went down a whole rabbit hole with ChatGPT and it was convinced you could give a standard human punch the impact of a sledgehammer. Plus it scales up for stronger opponents. Imagine Superman trying to punch you with all of his strength only for that energy to be redirected back up his arm through his whole body. He's losing that arm. Going back to the trap barriers, you could shred a lot of top-tier opponents who are running into them with their own level of momentum. The possibilities for reflective barriers get even more exciting with hand-to-hand. You place one large reflective barrier behind your enemy and two smaller ones behind your own elbows, positioned where your arms draw back before a punch. When you swing, those elbow barriers redirect energy forward, your fists now moving with far more force, and your target gets crushed between your punch and the immovable shield behind them. It would be like the 7-page Muta, JoJo's. Now imagine a perfect spherical barrier with 100% reflective properties. Toss a small object inside and let it ricochet. The energy would build with each bounce, especially if your barriers multiply or preserve energy. Shake it up long enough and you would have a highly energetic payload. Release that through a gap and you have a railgun. Assuming energy can be stored exponentially, you may not even be able to use that power since after 30-ish bounces, you would have some weapon of mass destruction, and each of those bounces would come faster. It may be too difficult to time out between getting a bullet versus leveling a city. Story 44. The ability to sway chance, making extremely unlikely situations happen, or vice versa. Essentially, luck is a power, but I can use it on my environment as well. Story 45. Shamelessly stealing this answer from a previous Reddit post, but I want the ability to fill things. Empty cup? Fill it with whatever I want. Lungs are empty? Fill them up with air. Wallet doesn't have cash or gas tank is empty. You get the point. Best part about this power is how you'd have the choice to be subtle or grandiose about it. Me? I'm not looking to advertise my powers. I just want an easier life for myself and the people I love. Story 46. The ability to manipulate probability. What's the probability that I have infinite money? Let's make that 100 mile. What's the probability that I can gain the power to fly? Let's make that 100. What's the probability that I can solve world hunger? Let's make that 100. This is the best superpower and no one will ever change my mind. Story 47. Anything MCU's Scarlet Witch's powers allow for, e.g. telekinesis, reality warping, flight, mind control, as well as some loopholes and extras, e.g. teleportation, and teleportation of abstract nouns, e.g. teleporting money into a bank account, teleporting different clothes on, instant changing. Story 48. Mind reading that you can turn on and off. It's a super powerful tool that would allow to succeed. I'd use it every now and again to see what people want and to see people's true motives. Story 49. Pacify. The moment a fight breaks out or people start yelling, I wave my hand and they are all calm and silent. When someone won't let me speak or talk over me, I wave my hand and they are silent. When someone is cruel to me, I look at them and their dumb fudge head explodes in a slow and agonizing way. Story 50. Duplication of any inanimate object I've touched. Anything broken can be replaced. Anything can be stolen by just touching it in the store, and any drink food substance can be endlessly replenished. Story 51. To be able to take anything away from someone, money, health, vitality, whatever I can think of, and give it to me or anyone I choose on demand. Story 52. Homovision. To be able to see where men fall on the scale of straight to gay, like glow pink or something, the gayer they are. It would make this gay man's dating life so much more efficient. Story 53. Duplicate things. It's kind of disappointing when those chicken nuggets are all down and you still want more. Story 54. One coworker of mine has the superpower to show one how to SWM into debt in under 4 minutes. Another has the power to take on 987 male body part at one time. Story 55. Teleportation would be the best in GL. The most practical thing to have these days, especially if you can teleport objects and other people with you. I'm thinking daily use like teleporting to and from work, teleporting home with my groceries, teleporting to my long-distance friends' places, etc. But also, if I want to go for a quick vacation, I can just teleport my wife and I to Cancun for the day, or teleport us to any place in the world whenever I want. Like, if I'm feeling authentic Japanese food tonight, we can just go there. It's also the most beneficial for criminal activity, if that's your kind of thing. Story 56. To be able to type on my phone without having to constantly press the delete button. Pressed it 5 times typing this out. Story 57. I've always said shapeshifting because, in a lot of ways, by doing so, you obtain a lot of other powers. Want to fly? Be a bird. Want to be super strong? Be a gorilla? Want to be invisible? Be a really small bug. Story 58. Healing myself or others. Trade off it consumes my calories. Bring me a pizza or a chicken sandwich if you want an arm back. Story 59. Shapeshifting. Think about it. Never have to worry about dieting. Never have to go to the dentist. Never have to go to the doctor. Never have to go to the hair salon. Never have to go to the spa. Body dysmorphia is 0. It's so fudge practical. Story 60. I want to temporarily steal other people's powers when I touch them or make any sort of physical contact. Story 61. Twice the total power of my body in every single one of my fingers. Like, if my punch can deal 80 damage, one finger flick can, for example, deal 160. Also, it would multiple if I use all of them to slap, 11605-800. But if I punch, my power will be 80 again. Story 62. I would love to have something like the identity spell as an innate ability. Only, instead of spells or whatever, I learn about the history of that specific item, how to use it if it is a tool, and its properties. So if I cast Identify on a trumpet, I know everything about the trumpet, I just used it on from the specific alloy used to make it, to the names of all previous owners, and also learn how to perfectly play that trumpet. Story 63. I want to be able to freeze time, and while it's stopped, I won't age with the little extra that I can choose specific objects or people that don't freeze with me. That would give me time to learn, more time with loved ones, or just time to game without having to go to work while still being able to experience a normal life and age like normal when I choose to spend my life with others. I could also get rich very easily for very obvious reasons, but I just have more time for what I like doing without having to stress. Story 64. You know the time chamber in Dragon Ball Z? It blown my mind as kid and it inspired me a lot. Always dreamt about having a chamber where time stops and being able to bring anything inside of it, and I can summon it when and where I want. I have severe ADHD, and all my life, since I was a little kid, always had to fight and not sleep on the last day to finish my homework. Story 65. Being able to manipulate and create chemicals, that includes inside my own and others' brains, would literally be in control of my own and others' emotions, motivations, and some brain functions. That or telekinesis, cause you could lift yourself up and fly with it too. Story 66. Ability to slow time. To be honest, I'd use it to have a successful career in motorsports and competitive sports. Story 67. Being able to manipulate the past, but only to fix a few things and not abuse it. Or Star Platinum from JJBA would be pretty fire. Story 68. Healing. Either hands-on or even remotely. So like Reiki but real instead of made-up bullshit for simpletons. Story 69. Copy things that I see. Then paste it at home or somewhere else. I don't need to buy anything because I own everything, technically. But I guess it's a boring superpower though, although extremely useful for life. Or maybe technopath? I can tell the banks to round up all the decimal leftovers or digits from all the world's bank accounts and aggregate it into a hidden bank account that only I can access. Yeah, TBH. I just don't want to work, man. Story 70. To open portals like Doctor Strange, but without the whole ring thing. Lots of options to make life easier and make money. Plus, someone pisses me off. I can go stuff my face at a buffet or something, and next time I shoot, I can just open a portal under my jerk and over their head. Can they DNA test feces? If so, just do it in a public place so you have an alibi and play it off. Bro, I was at work. Look at the camera. This weirdo must have stole my shoot and dropped it on themselves. Story 71. Wolverine-style healing factor, minus the adamantium skeleton overlay. I am 45 and feeling it. I could do with less scar tissue and declining resilience. You can keep the super strength and claws. I just want the healing factor. Story 72. The ability to alter people's body and brain chemistry. You could manipulate anyone to do your bidding by falling in love with you temporarily, or make them fear you, or just make them tell the truth. You can cure depression, fix anyone's mental health issues really, assuming it's related to hormone imbalance, etc. Story 73. I remember this movie called Jumper. Wouldn't mind being able to jump between places by just looking at photographs. Story 74. I want the same form of teleportation as the movie Jumper. I know it's a little lame, but having the barrier of knowing the space you're traveling to would make my commute so much easier. Story 75. I would like to have good luck. Just be in the right place at the right time and say the right thing. Always. Story 76. To telepathically influence people to get what I want, basically play life with cheat codes, would be tons of fun. Story 77. Shape-shifting into anything. Objects, people, fictional characters or creatures, animals. It'd be sick as hell. Imagine shape-shifting into a dinosaur. You could get hired for all those Jurassic Park movies they keep milking, and you'll be set for life. Story 78. Honestly, the ability to master any subject that I am exposed to. It would be cool to learn and master anything, whether it was cooking anything or learning complex physics. It would be awesome to live a life like that. Story 79. Don't know if it would be considered a superpower, but bear with me here. My ability would be to create a completely new world universe where I have completed control, so I could make a gun appear in my pocket, add and remove people as I please, do whatever I want without consequence. And for as long as I'm in my personal little universe, time stops in the normal one. Furthermore, I can make myself immortal or mortal as it please, and in the case that I do die, I just open my eyes back in the normal world. Story 80. I would like the ability to turn people I dislike into kitchen appliances. For instance, a blender. How awesome would it be to make frozen drinks with Donald Trump? Story 81. Ability to create and erase anything that comes to my imagination by snapping a finger. It could be anything. New PC, cat girl, or even a stop time button. Just imagine how cool that could be. Story 82. Captain Hindsight. But not like in South Park. If hindsight is 20/20, I'd like to be able to make those good decisions in the present without having to look back and say, oh, if only I did XYZ. Story 83. I lose my physical form, but I become an existentially independent entity which doesn't have the need of the existence of space and time to exist consciously. Story 84. Enhanced durability and enhanced senses. With short-distance teleportation, if done right, it's just flash step. Matter acceleration, you can just yeet yourself. Or gravitational manipulation. You can do a lot of shoot if you're creative with these. Story 85. Just flying, along with any ability that would make that a comfortable experience. The idea of flight seems like such a beautiful, liberating experience. Story 86. I want to instantly be able to know any measurement to extreme accuracy. How much something weighs, how far away something is, how tall someone is, how many jelly beans in the jar. I want to know that stuff like second nature. Story 87. I've been stable on this question for years. I want to get perfect sleep. All the time. Whenever I want to sleep, I fall asleep instantly, wake up when it's time, and get deep restoration every time. Story 88. No clip mode. It kind of combines invisibility, super speed, flying, and teleportation. Like when you enter the mode, you're invisible, can go through objects, are super fast, and can hover. Story 89. There is no way that I wouldn't become corrupted by whatever superpower I was given. So, due to that, I'd like the power to ensure that I can always make perfect dippy eggs without an ice bath. Story 90. Gotta be honest here, teleporting everywhere I want when I want, and to a time I want to experience like the 1600s. Story 91. The best one would be the save game superpower, obviously. So life is like a video game and you can just try anything and everything and go back to your save point at any time with no one else remembering your fudge-ups. Story 92. Time travel, there in an instant and back again. Should I choose to? I'd go in an ethereal sense, so I couldn't change or affect anything. Nothing could touch, see, or affect me. Think of an item, place, time, and be there in the blink of an eye. No machines, just a superpower. I'd finally get to find out how the pyramids got built and what they were actually built for. And what did dinosaurs actually look like in the flesh and even sound like? Did Leonardo da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa? Obviously, so much more to explore, but they would be first on my superpower bucket list. Story 93. High-level telekinesis. Partly because it'd be extremely versatile in everyday situations, but also because unless there's some arbitrary limit on it, then it can basically be multiple other superpowers all rolled into in one. Flight, lift and move myself around. Heat or cold, just making molecules move faster or slower. Electricity, getting fancy with electrons. Super strength? Self-explanatory, at least for lifting. Simulating striking power might be tougher. Invulnerability? Could be tricky if I'm trying to be bulletproof or something, but I could probably figure something out. Story 94. Seeing everyone's browser history and be able to show the whole world, yeah, mom of OP, your son watches BBC. Story 95. Don't know if that's considered boring, but I really, really want healing. All the good I could do. It would be amazing. Story 96. Everything I buy has a 100 discount. Anytime I have to pay for something, I have the exact amount, the right amount post-taxes. The money is seen by HMRC as ISA dividends, so I keep them. This seems boring, but noni power. I can do anything. Story 97. Heaven's Door, the stand from JJBA. Basically, I can turn parts of me into paper, and whatever I write into the paper becomes my characteristics. Like if I want to be fluent in Russian, I can write it in the paper and I'll be. If I write, cannot be hit by anything, I won't be hit by anything. Story 98. Full control over the internet. Ban people, push content, lock websites, publish on other people's accounts, prevent people from logging into accounts, mass bans and lockouts according to a preset. I would also be able to redirect funds. I would use it to cleanse the internet of fake news, algorithms designed to push agendas, and exposing politicians and companies. Story 99. Making save points so I can go back later. To limit myself, keep it at a maximum of 5 saves, and if I wanted to get a new save, I'd have to overwrite an old one forever. Story 100. I'd be Arousal Man. Arousal Man has the uncanny power to erect anything, anywhere, at any time. With a thrust of his will and a commanding stance, he can erect towering skyscrapers from bare ground, erect bridges across vast ravines, or erect defensive walls in the heat of battle. Need a hospital? Hell erected in seconds. A concert stage? Erected mid-solo. A monument to himself? Already erected in solid granite. No structure is too complex, no terrain too wild. If it can be erected, Arousal Man can erect it. His mission? To erect the world into a better, stronger, and more structurally sound place. Story 101. To walk in and out of the unseen spectrum that the human eye cannot see, like radio waves, blue light, darkness, light, thus disappearing at will but in different ways, like a ghost without limits and being able to slip past cameras, unseen with the human eyes, or even walking into magnetic waves which would change my molecular structure and, most of all, cannot be seen in darkness. I could live life and not be recognized in any shape or form unless I want them to. I'd be a deadly assassin. Story 102. I've always thought about how awesome it would be if you could just pop up a holographic IRL menu and just spawn any item you want, wherever you want. It would be awesome and so convenient. Story 103. Whatever abilities Delson Rowe has, being on the good side as a conduit. Imagine traveling and traversing obstacles, using matter to heal others, and the only downside is being unable to swim and weak point being my hands. Story 104. Telekinesis would be the most useful in day-to-day life, and you could train yourself to do a lot of things with it, like fly and rig roulette games at the casino. Story 105. I want to be Spider-Man, but if it comes to practicality, it's always going to be super speed, or technology manipulation.